Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep, welcome back to Pacific Paradise, and welcome back to this item we are making. Last time we were working on expanding one of the shipwrecks and adding some decoration to the offshore rocks that we put on the right hand side of the island, but we are also in the PC version of the map editor in the Stranded Deep game, so if you're joining us for the first time, well, W goes forward, S goes back, A goes left, D goes right, Q goes down, E goes up. And right click and hold the mouse button, that pans the camera around if you happen to be using brushes, which I'm sure you will at some point if you're going around the outside of the island, smoothing the heights, smoothing the sand, and then you go, ooh, I tell you what, I'm going to hit the lower button and I'm just going to left click. Well, you'll punch a hole straight down to the center of the planet because this amount slider is inherited between all of the brushes, and there is no undo, so as a matter of habit, you should take this amount slider and crank it all the way down so it is just all the way down against the stop. That means that if you do click, not much is going to happen, but because there is no undo, remember to save often. Because if you make a mistake, the easiest way to correct it is just to reload an older save. And with that out of the way, oh, we're just going big and going home. Well, going big or going home? Well, we're doing kind of all of it. So yes, we updated the wreck over here. So the wreck over here is made from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shipwreck parts. And because of that, there is an anomaly. So you can kind of see that as we started. But if I move the camera forward, the camera is going to speed up and slow down, seemingly of its own volition. That's not frame drop, that is just because the camera is moving close to objects. As soon as we are away from all of the objects, the camera will speed up because there is no constant velocity for the camera in the game. That is something of an oversight. So yes, we have been adding trees, adding rocks, adding plants to this side of the island because this is one of the sides of the island that we completely neglected, and we're kind of working our way around to the front. So we've added shipwrecks, we've added offshore islands, we've added a DC-3 up in the trees, and it is very, very high up, incredibly high up as these things go. But we added a river because things were missing from the island, and I figured, well, go big or go home, and that is exactly what we're doing. But with adding all of these trees, we enter one slight problem in terms of rendering. You see, the leaves are sprites. They're two-dimensional. They're very well done, but they are very much two-dimensional. So we have a lot of polygons, and then we have a lot of sprites. And if we have a lot of sprites, we can get into a situation of overdraw. You can kind of get around that by putting something in the way, like a big old rock. And hopefully the game's engine is clever enough to say anything behind the rock I don't need to render. That is, well, that's culling, not ambient occlusion. That's culling. That's the word you need. And in order to make rendering the island a lot easier, one of the things we're going to do is break line of sight by adding polygons, hopefully making it easier for a player's computer to render. So what I thought we could do is just grab some rocks, cliff 5, and I'm going to just pop you down on the beach because the beach is very big and very open. And you might say, well, is that going to help? Is that going to cause a problem? Well, what I need to do is T to transform, R to rotate, do a little rotate, T to transform, put it down into the ground. And we're just going to do the same thing here because we got rocks out in the sea, which is fine. I'll pull it up because it looks a little awkward there. That's nice. Fine. Good. And then we'll take the terrain brushes and we will go to, well, the easiest one to use is actually set height. Read terrain paint height, grab some grass in the background. It selects from wherever the mouse pointer is. Change the mouse slider slightly up. Size is fine. Left click just once to test, and that's okay. And then we'll just hit raise and lower, hit lower, make sure the amount slider is down. As a matter of course, I'll just push some of this down. And then smooth, nice big brush. And then smooth this out, change the amount slider up, and there we go. It's kind of how all of that works. Why would we do that? Well, because we really want this to be another pathway as well as this. So we'll smooth this along here. The smoothing doesn't really work. Once we have saved and come back in again, these steps that are on the beaches, well, they will be back there again. Is there anything we can do about that? No, we can't do anything about that as a user. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way things are. And that is because the game kind of got a little bit broken on its 1.0 release. So one of the things I'm going to do is hit C to clone, and we are rotating. Transform and just slide that out there because I don't really like that big old flat side that we had. So it makes it a more interesting shape. Excellent. Very quick, very easy to do. Drop it down a bit. Okay, cool. So yeah, this side here was big, flat, and I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. So now we have a rock. It's a rock like any other, but I'm going to come over here. Terrain objects, so we have nothing selected, and then I'm going to do the same here. Why would we do this? Because we have these 3 rocks offshore, and that's fine, but it's not really fine, and that we know this has a big flat side to it. Well, we're going to do something else. We're going to do something very slightly different. That's way too big. Very big. Cliff 4? Yeah, I'm going to find a cliff piece with an interesting... Cliff 4 might be okay, but these ones are quite big compared to Cliff 5. I don't think it's going to do too much with that. So what we can do is just use big rocks and rotation. So ask rotate. It's okay. I think we're going to do the same thing again though. So C to clone. We have rotation set on. E to transform. Pull it in. Pull it down. There we go. Much nicer. I didn't like that big flat side to the rock model. And that now gives us a bunch of different things. So as we're running around as the player, the scene changes as we're running around. The camera velocity is just going to be what it is, but that's fine. That's fine. So you'd be looking left and right instead of just looking in a set direction because, well, we're breaking line of sight. And we're also giving a reason for the river stopping here. Something I'd like to do here, just maybe throw in some rocks and trees and something, but that's fine. It's fine. Speaking of rocks and trees and something, we have any structures that we can use? Yeah, we do. We have shelters, we have wrecks, and we have the sea forts. I'm not going to use the sea forts. I don't think we need to, but we have the sea fort bridges we can use if we want to. But I think I might throw in another wreck just around. So that might be cool. Now I don't know whether to do it over here, but here actually is a decent place to have one. So we are going to go find one of Shipwreck 3A. That's kind of nice. That feels good. There. Just to have you here. Excellent. Because it's going to be quite difficult to get a raft in here anyway. So Shipwreck 3A seems pretty decent. And what it does is it opens this area up as safe swimming. I mean, we're not going to put sharks on this island because it's a home island anyway, but it does open this area up for safe swimming. It just feels safer. There's something between you and the open ocean, which is what these rocks add. And this is going to do something similar. Now, I don't want it above the water too much, but this is fine. This is fine. We're going to hit terrain. I'm going to look up at the sky. I'm going to hit display ocean, turn off. Just locks the shadows to the ground. And that is, yeah, it's kind of fine. The sand is raised up on one side, it's down on the other side. Sometimes we would absolutely pile sand up. We can do that if we go to terrain. We hit raise, make sure the mount slider is all the way down, just pull it off the stop a bit, and then just pull it up around the boat. There is no way to get inside the boat on this one, so we'll just raise the sand up on this side. We can change the mount slider up slightly, and just have it so that it sits in a little bit of defilade. We'll just raise it up. There we go. And so this boat will continuously disappear. So it'll disappear, and then as soon as we're far enough away, it'll reappear. And there's a bug in the map editor. There's a certain number of levels of detail that are missing from the map editor. They've been missing for a while. So it's just going to come in and out of existence. It does exist. We don't need to worry about that. Read terrain paint height. I'm going to read it from here. Change the size up. Amount slider is down. I'm just going to bring up. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is just bring up this edge because it's quite low. So just bring up this edge around the outside. So that when we are swimming, presumably we will be swimming around the outside of the island. What it does, there we go, and smooth height, crank the size up a bit, crank the amount up, size down, amount up, please. Are we actually having an effect? Yes we are. Yes we are. Excellent. So we're having something of an effect. The smooth height won't take off all of the jaggies. I mean, it'll look like it does, and then as soon as you save, then, well, it won't. They'll all be back again. And we're just going to add some lumps and bumps here by changing the amount slider up and just adding some lumpy bumps along here because the seafloor isn't completely flat. There we go. Good. So we'll turn the ocean back on. That's fine, but now it kind of does look like there's a big old bar around it. I don't really want that as an effect. So, smooth height, up, crank it up, and then just push that down. And I'm going to do it from above the surface of the water. So smooth that down. In fact, crank it all the way up. There we go. Smooth it down from the back. Nice, 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 nice. So we got rid of some of that sandbar, but what did that do? You got rid of the whole thing. Kinda. But now what we're gonna do is go back and just raise it, change that all the way down. And be a little bit more careful about how we do this. Here and here. Into the actual boat itself. A bit around the front. And turn the ocean off. So what we've done is we've raised the area of the ocean around the boat and just added some sand around it so that the sand kind of is piled up here. We have a little, oh, that's shadow, that's fine. We could smooth it. I mean, we don't need to smooth it, but we could. So we can just add a little bit of smoothing here and here. Just take the bumps off. It's just little touches. We could add some rocks here. Now the game might try to add rocks around the boat, but we could do that as well. So if we go to rocks, big rock, smaller rock, please. Yeah, seems decent. So R to rotate, T to transform. Just push it in, around. R to rotate, and then T to transform. We can push it down into the old ground itself. So it looks like this thing just crunched against a rock. There we go. And we can do the same thing over here. Crunch it right down. So making ourselves a little reef here. Artificial reef, you say? I mean, yeah, why not? Little underwater obstacle. Now, will these be visible with all of the other things that the game is going to put underneath the water? Well, that is a good question. That is an actual excellent question. Not entirely sure. It's going to put down a lot of things like coral. So anywhere where we have this smooth sand, there won't be any coral there. So that's going to be clear. So these rocks are going to be absolutely visible. But if we put it out here, where the little footprints are under the water, well, no, there's going to be lots of coral and things there. So we're going to put a small rock here. Going to rotate it. And then T to transform. And just... Yep. And we can just add another one, sort of here-ish. Yeah, sort of here-ish. Boop. So they were kind of lucky to get as far as they did, but yeah, that is definitely a boat that's had its hull smashed and is not going anywhere. Why they were so close to the shoreline, who knows? It does mean if you're trying to take a raft through here, well, probably don't take a raft through here, but that is something that people will find out, or they'll get themselves beached. That's a little fun thing. But wait, there's more. That costs us more. There's always more. But what about the time of day? Because that rock is just touching the surface, and there will be waves. Well, the waves are more out to sea. This is shoreline water, so it's not that pronounced. But the tide is out. Tide is out fully here. So the tip of that rock is actually just underwater. Just underwater. So that's the low tide. And I think there's high tide. And the water, yeah, that's fully submerged at that point. Interesting. You probably get the yellow raft over it. So we'll go back to about midday. Excellent. So we've added a little boat there. We've added some more rocks, which is good. Good. Excellent. And our obsession with breaking line of sight means that... Ah, look at that. But if we come here, and we're walking on the beach, we've got these trees, we've got the boat itself. It's just kind of a little vignette, which is framed by the rocks left and right of it. Nice. I really like that. That does look very good. It's one of those things that we need to add. We need to add Rex to the island, but by adding this, it adds, yeah, that little vignette. And what we can do is go and grab our trees. And you know exactly what we're going to do at this point. So we're going to need to add ourselves Ficus. Ficus 2 probably. Just grab Ficus 2 and just bully it into submission. Now, we're going to have that coming out slightly. Rotate. So we've got to kind of want one of the branches to be framing it. There you go. Nice. But this looks awkward. That's kind of weird. T to transform. Pull it out a bit more. Yeah, it does kind of look weird. So, we are going to need some more rocks. So, rocks here. Big rock. And you can sort of come in here. Right, good. Excellent. I'm going to pull it out so that the rest of the rock texture covers the mossy texture. Pull it down. And then another big rock. So what have we got going on here? Do. And push you in, but raise you up just enough so that you're above the water. Good. Excellent. And then we're going to grow. Well, maybe. We're going to go grab some acacia. There we go. And now, normally what we would do is we would try and get all of these leaves so they're not clipping into the rocks. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of do that as much as possible. Well, maybe not. T to transform. What have we got? This one here. So pull that out. Yes. We're going to have a hard time with this. So what I'm actually going to do is make sure these leaves aren't clipped so much around the tree itself. I don't think we're going to be able to avoid that, so we'll just kind of put it in such a position where it doesn't matter too much. T to transform and just slide it back. Excellent. So we don't want to take away from the view of the boat, but what we do want to do is just add more to the frame. So just add the tree, and it adds the top of the frame. What? Yeah, that's what you do in photography. If you want to take a picture of something, you can add things around the outside that are in, say, columns or a bit of roof or maybe a branch of a tree, and it's called framing within the photograph. Oh, didn't know that. Well, you do now, Saruman. I mean, we can do that. And a big old bit of Saruman. And that kind of masks the fact that the whole bottom of the tree, just rotate that slightly, the whole bottom of the tree is largely just poking out a bit of rock. There you go. Excellent. I really do like that. That's looking quite neat. So what we're also going to do is go and grab some rock, go and grab some shoreline rock, and grab that here. Now this creates a little bit of dead zone here, so I think what we need to do is transform that, because that is just an area where the player is not going to go. A little bit of dead zone. Yep, here. So we can rotate this around in such a way, because it's asymmetrical, in such a way where we get the look that we're going for, but also, yeah, also the area the player's not going to go is just completely masked. So rotate it until we find a nice look. We can transform as well. That's fine. That's good. Looks good. Yeah. Right, and then grab some more trees. But wait, there's more. There's always more. There's always more. So we need some palm trees. Now we did this before. I'm going to do it again. Palm tree. Go grab a big old palm tree. Nice. The height is good. I think what I'll do is I'll move it away from the rock though. Drop it down. The water starts about here. I'm kind of keen to avoid putting palm trees in water. What we can then do is grab another one. Maybe pull it out a little bit here. Hard to rotate because the tops are otherwise too similar, because they are basically the same tops on different lengths of tree. We have a slight problem here because this is now awkwardly out too far. So grab some rock. Little rock, small rock, big rock, cobble rock. No, cobble box. Oh, no, we did the wrong thing. So we'll just grab another bit of rock here. Excellent. And then what we can also do is go back to the trees and add some young palm saplings. A little bit down. There is no undo. No, we've done a mistake. So this bit here needs to lay down again. That happens quite frequently. So keep an eye on what you've done. So this snapped. This young palm snapped onto this when we let go. And then it snapped onto the tree behind. So we got so much stuff, so many objects here, that the main problem is we're just going to be moving stuff around as soon as it lets go. So if we're trying to click rapidly, I just want to make sure that this tree is fine in terms of positioning. It is. And we can come back and check that by standing on the beach. It kind of isn't, actually. So that's the rock. Yeah, not having an undo is not particularly good. How do we get here? We do a little move, and if it feels like it's not moving what we need it to move, then we have to move things away. Okay, fine. Slide it away. Slide that away. Slide. Nope. Nope. Can I please have the tree? I don't think I'm going to be able to select the tree at this point. No. Okay, so we need to slide the rocks away until we can get to the tree. There we go. That's not even that. Oof. How to fix a mistake. There we are. So I'm just going to come back to the beach after we've exploded everything. Stand on the beach. How to rotate. Let's move that over a bit. I think that's probably not quite right still, but well, we can't account for everything. So bring you back, snuggle you back up to the rock, bring you back, snuggle you back in, bring you back, slide you back in. Yeah, having so many objects stacked and not having a way of going through an object list is very tricky. I'd like an object list. That's one of the things I would like. Okay, good. So all we needed to do is put this down, put it into the ground, and as soon as we let go, it snaps onto something in the background. We can stop that slightly by just changing the camera angle of the camera. There you go. So, yeah, palm sapling, palm sapling. If there's nothing in the background, it won't snap. Why does it do that when you let go? I genuinely don't know. I don't know if it's a function of Windows or if it's a function of the game itself, like the Unreal? Unity engine. So is it a function of the Unity engine? Is it a function of the actual game? Who knows? Who knows? Does this feel like it's in the same position? Yeah. So what we can do is add something here just to add a little bit of color. A bit of Nana. Does the Nana work here? I don't know if it does, actually. I'll take the Alocasia instead. It's a little bit of greenery. And that works. Rotate it around, T to transform, push it in, make sure it doesn't snap to anything, because otherwise we're pulling stuff apart again. Oh. Hey, that's how do you fix a mistake if there's no undo? The answer is carefully. Carefully and logically. Right, so I'll move this over. There you go. Don't need too much detail on it. Just something to say, hey, there's some detail. Because we have the tree here. We also have, or should have, a way up. We did. But I think this bit got moved over too much. No, it should be okay. It should be okay. Yeah, that's fine. If we don't think the player can jump up there, I think the player can jump up. 1, 2, yeah, should be able to jump onto the top. So there's something we really want to make sure is the player can absolutely jump onto the top of things like this. And these serve a function. Good. Excellent. So that just adds, unfortunately it adds a lot of shadow, but it's only on the surface of the water. So we go underneath the water. Oh no, it does go underneath. But weirdly floats on the surface as a completely opaque shadow. So you can't see through the shadow itself. And I don't know why this is a thing. I can make a guess at it being that the water surface is a tessellation. So it's a tessellated mesh. And it is something separate. So it doesn't exist as water. So when you get close enough and the sharp shadow just shows itself, it is just literally displaying on the water mesh on the surface, where it should just appear underneath technically. But hey, it's not my game, I didn't make it. Good, excellent. So we've added another tree. And we've added another little rocky thing. We've closed off the beach a little bit. We're going to need to do something here and add lots more trees and things. But I think it was good. I think it's good to make a mistake. I think it's good to do things like, well, add this boy out here. So, excellent. I am gonna leave it for the time being. So if you like this, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you want notifications, click the little bell. If you don't want notifications, don't click the bell. And I tell you what, I'll catch you next time.